Good morning, dear student. My name is Mr. So. Okay, today we are going to see a grammar lesson about verbs and forms. You know why we insist here in these two grammar points? Because they are so important. The verbs, they are divided into two groups. Okay, we have ordinary verbs and auxiliaries. The auxiliaries and the ordinary verbs. Ordinary verbs are regular verbs and irregular verbs. Now, for the regular verbs, they take E or ed at the end in simple past. That's why we say they are regular verbs. And now, for the irregular verbs, they don't follow this rule. This rule. It means they don't take ed or e. What we have to do is to know the list by heart. We don't have a set form here for these two, these irregular verbs. Okay, I'm going to give you example of regular and irregular verbs. An example of regular verb. We can have to work. We can have also to like. What we say is we add ed. Here to like we just have the e, we add d. So it is works and like. Okay? An example of irregular verb. We can have to give, and we can have also to see. These verbs are in a list. Okay, to give, we have gave. To see, we have saw. Okay, here are the irregular and regular verbs. And now, after the ordinary verbs, we have the auxiliaries. You have the auxiliaries. Auxiliaries are to be, to have, to do, can, must, may, okay, will, shall, okay, should, could, would. Okay, we have also ought to. Sometimes also we can have to, need, and to, today. Sometimes these two verbs can be used as auxiliaries. Okay? To sum up here, we have two types of verbs. Okay? Ordinary verbs and auxiliaries. And the ordinary verbs are divided into two groups. Okay? We can have regular and irregular verbs. And for the auxiliaries, here we have the number. the number of the auxiliaries, and it is very easy to learn it by heart, just to help you to make the difference between these two types of verbs. Okay, to sum up in French, notre leçon d'aujourd'hui porte sur les verbes et les formes. Bon, en premier lieu, on a fait les verbes. Donc, ce qu'il faut noter, c'est qu'en anglais, on a deux types de verbes. Il y a ce qu'on appelle les verbes ordinaires, mais aussi nous avons les auxiliaires. Maintenant, pour les verbes ordinaires sont divisés en deux groupes, à savoir les verbes réguliers et les verbes qui sont dits irréguliers. Les verbes réguliers, c'est quoi? C'est au simple past. Ils prennent E ou ED à la fin. Maintenant, pour les verbes irréguliers, ils ne respectent pas cette règle. Et il y a une liste de verbes qui est donnée, donc c'est à apprendre par cœur. Mais aussi, nous avons les auxiliaires. Les auxiliaires, vous voyez ici, ils ne sont pas nombreux, c'est facile à apprendre. Nous avons to be, to have, to do, can, must, may, will, shall, should, could, would, ought to need, today. OK? Donc, c'est facile à apprendre. Donc, ici, c'était pour les verbes. Et nous allons passer aux formes. Okay. So, after the verbs, we're going to see the forms. Now here, for the forms, what we notice is that we have 4 forms. We have affirmative form, we have negative form, we have interrogative, and we have negative form. Okay? Now, for each form, we will deal with auxiliaries and ordinary verb. And now, for the first form, affirmative form is generally used when we are discussing. When we are answering question, we use an affirmative sentence. Okay? I can give some sentence in affirmative form. Okay? At first, they go to the mosque. Here it is an affirmative sentence. Here the verb is an ordinary verb. Musa has done the test. It is an affirmative sentence. And the verb used here is an auxiliary. That's why we can put here affirmative form. Okay, affirmative form. And now, for the rule of affirmative form, we have subject plus verb plus object. Okay? Here, this rule is for the ordinary verb. Ordinary verb. And for the auxiliaries, we have subject plus auxiliary plus object. Auxiliary. Here we have the auxiliary. Okay? Now it is easy. The affirmative form is easy. That's what we use sometimes when we are discussing, when we are talking with another person. But what is difficult is negative, interrogative, and interrogative. And this need to be followed. Okay? Okay, and now we're talking about the negative form. Negative form. Okay, at first, we use a case of an ordinary verb. Okay, the rule here is subject plus do or does or did plus not plus verb without to plus the object. What does it mean? We conjugate the auxiliary to do into simple present or simple past plus not plus the verb without to. We can have 3 examples here. She, okay, works hard. Here it is affirmative form. The negative form is she does not work hard. Okay? We can have also they played football. They, in negative form, they did not play, okay, football. They did not play football. And also we can have another example with okay, Modu and Pate, okay, Modu and Pate go to Paris, for example. Here, in negative form, we say Modu and Pate, okay, do not go to Paris. Okay? Here is the negative form of an ordinary verb. The rule is here. And now, it is a case of ordinary verb. We are going to see a case of an auxiliary. Now, for the auxiliary, the rule here is subject plus auxiliary plus not plus the object. Okay? For example, Samba is a student. Okay? Also we can say they will do the test. Okay? Here is an ordinary an auxiliary, will also. So here Samba, okay, is not a student. And here they, okay, will not do the test. Okay, now for the negative form, to sum up it in French, la première chose qu'on a eu à faire, c'est-à-dire, on a pris un exemple de verbe ordinaire, n'est-ce pas? Pour les verbes ordinaires à la forme négative, c'est quoi? On emploie sujet, plus, n'est-ce pas, l'auxiliaire to do conjugué, soit au présent, soit au passé, plus le verbe, plus, n'est-ce pas, le complément. OK? Maintenant, pour les verbes, pour les auxiliaires, la règle c'est quoi? C'est le sujet, plus l'auxiliaire, plus not, plus, n'est-ce pas, le complément. Donc, à la forme négative, ce qui forme la négation, c'est le not. Le not ici forme la négation, n'est-ce pas? Donc, après la forme négative, we are going to see the interrogative form, okay? Interrogative form is used to ask a question. Okay? In our conversation, okay, when we ask question, we can use the interrogative form. So here, interrogative form. And we do as we like, as we did with the negative form. We take a case of an ordinary verb. Here, what is the rule? The rule is do, does, or did plus subject plus verb without to plus the object and plus the question mark, because we are talking about interrogative form. Okay? And as an example here, we can take this sentence, Fanta, okay, Fanta writes the lesson. If we use the negative form for this sentence, we will say, does Fanta write, without S, write the lesson? Question mark. Because write is an ordinary verb, we use does. And also we can say they, okay, we can use an example of ordinary verb. They, okay, they play in the past, they play well. Okay, here the question for the interrogative form will be, did they play without, okay, well, here. Okay, for the ordinary verb, the rule is that. And also, we can take an example of an auxiliary. For the auxiliary, it is very easy. What we have to do is to invert the auxiliary with the subject. Okay? The rule here is auxiliary plus subject plus the object plus the question mark. We have the inversion between the auxiliary and the subject. Example, Modu, okay, has a car. Modu has a car, affirmative form. And now for interrogative form, we have has Modu a car. Okay? They, okay, can do the job. We have can they do the job. Okay, to sum up this lesson or this part about the interrogative form. Donc pour la forme interrogative, on l'emploie comme son nom pour poser une question. Dans nos conversations, la plupart du temps en anglais, on emploie la forme interrogative. Et la forme interrogative, on a donné un exemple avec les verbes ordinaires. Donc pour la formation avec les verbes ordinaires, c'est quoi? À chaque fois, on fait appel à l'auxiliaire to do. L'auxiliaire to do ici sera inversé avec le sujet. Ok, on a les formes do, does or did, plus, n'est-ce pas, le sujet, plus le verbe, n'est-ce pas, sans le tout, plus le complément et il ne faut pas oublier le point d'interrogation puisqu'on parle d'interrogative form. N'est-ce pas? Maintenant, pour les auxiliaires, là, c'est plus facile puisque ce qu'on a à faire, c'est inverser, n'est-ce pas, l'auxiliaire avec le sujet. On inverse l'auxiliaire avec le sujet, plus le complément, mais aussi plus le point d'interrogation. Donc, c'est ça la forme interrogative. And also, we're going to see the interrogative form. What we hear here is interro and negative. It means that we have to combine the two forms. Okay? Let me give you some example of sentences, and after we try to to turn them into interrogative, and we will give the rule. So here, interrogative form. At first, case of an ordinary verb. The rule here is do, does, did, okay, plus not, plus the subject, plus verb without to, plus the object and the question mark. As an example, we can say Famara, okay, Famara asks the date. Famara asks the date in the present, okay? We can say in interrogative form, does plus not. Donc, doesn't Famara ask the date? Okay? Another one, they, okay, they went to Bargny. They went to Bargny. Here, what we say is did not, didn't they, okay, didn't they go to Bargny. Here is the interrogative form of this sentence, okay? After the ordinary verb, we're going to see the auxiliaries. We'll give an example of an auxiliary. Okay, case of an auxiliary. The rule here is auxiliary plus not plus subject plus the object and plus the question mark. As example, Fatu, okay, has a new pen. Fatu has a new pen. So, in interrogative form, we have hasn't Fatu a new pen with the question mark. Another one, they or we, okay, we would go there. We would go there. In interrogative form, we have wouldn't we go there. Okay? To sum up this part, okay, in French, donc l'interrogatif, c'est quoi? C'est les deux formes combinées, à savoir la forme interrogative, n'est-ce pas, mis à la forme négative. Si nous regardons la règle pour les verbes ordinaires, c'est quoi? On a l'auxiliaire to do, c'est-à-dire do, does or did, plus, n'est-ce pas, le not, plus le sujet, plus le verbe, n'est-ce pas, sans tout, plus le complément, et ce qu'il ne faut pas oublier, c'est le point d'interrogation. Pour les auxiliaires aussi, c'est quoi? On a l'auxiliaire, n'est-ce pas, plus not, plus le sujet, plus, n'est-ce pas, le complément, plus le point d'interrogation, n'est-ce pas? Maintenant, ce qu'il faut remarquer, c'est quoi? Que dans cette forme-là, on emploie le plus souvent la forme contractée. Non, pour ces formes, pour la forme interrogative, la plupart, on emploie la forme contractée, n'est-ce pas, au début de la phrase. L'exemple qu'on a donné ici, c'est avec have, ok? Have plus not, la forme contractée, c'est haven't. We can have also other example, ok? Dear student, ok, it is enough for today, ok? See you next time, ok?